Hello everybody, welcome back to Life with Mama B. So glad you tuned in for another video. Today's video is going to be very encouraging, and it might, find some of us in one of those spaces. So I just wanted to jump on, the holidays are coming up, and many people are going through a lot of different things. And it's things that can be discouraging, and it's things that can be distracting. So I just want to jump on today to talk about distractions. And I pray that I say something today that is going to help you to enjoy this holiday season, to, just know that you're okay. You are really okay. The things that are happening now is not our permanent place of dwelling. It is just, one of those pass-through zones. And so we know that all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord and called according to his purpose. So the So the things that we call bad and the things that we call good, they all work together to either get something into us or get something out of us or get something off of us. So just want you to be encouraged. Don't want, anyone to be in this season and then you're feeling some kind of way that leads you into a place of depression and stress and all of that. And then you're really missing out on life. So I do want to talk about distraction today. Before I get started, if you have not subscribe to my channel, go ahead and subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video. Drop down in the comments and leave me a comment. If you have a question, leave me a question and let's get into it. So let's look at this. First thing I want to say is distraction is the enemy of purpose. Just know that. Just know that. Distraction is the enemy to purpose. So when you're distracted and can't focus, and that's an enemy to your purpose. It comes to, keep you from focusing on what you need to be focusing on at the time. So, let's look at this. I kind of researched and jotted down some things and just going to share them with you. So the first meaning I have is when you're distracted, you're unable to focus. So that means, you have a goal or you have an assignment at hand and you just can't, for some reason, focus on that assignment. So I'm going to talk about some internal distractions, some external distractions. I'm going to talk about the 3 types of distraction. We're going to look at those and, just give you an example of those. And then I'm going to give you 3 strategies to overcome that spirit of distraction. So I have some definitions here, and I'm sure, if you're dealing with this, you're going to find yourself in one of these 2 definitions. The first one is distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. And we know a lot about that because, we'll start off doing something and then all of a sudden we're doing something else. And it's not what we started off doing. And so we never completed where we started out going. We never completed the assignment that we started. So let's look at this second definition. It says distraction is extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. We know that to be true, because when we're distracted, it causes us to be depressed, and we're upset, we're frustrated, and now we're emotional. And we know that our emotions, as human beings, our emotions are off the chain. Let's just say that like that, because we got to put it out there with the truth so that we can help ourselves. So those are the definitions of distractions. So let's look at some external triggers, external distraction triggers. These are really big, and I know many times when we hear people doing videos like this or, going to church, they hammer on these things as if it's the things that, many people call them, these things are demonic. None of that. We just have to have self-control. Okay, so let's look at some external triggers. I have here music, and we know certain types of music carry certain types of messages. And I'll say this: it depends on where you are in your life, what you can listen to that will not take you off of your path of purpose. I'm gonna say it like that. Because, some people can listen to some things. Some things I don't listen to. Because, it just puts me in the space. And so, if I know it's going to be a distraction for me, I avoid it. I don't need it. That's nothing that I need. Okay, the second thing is social media. And I know we harp a lot on social media. But let me tell you something about social media. And I know people have a lot of negative things to say about social media, but let me tell you, social media is not the enemy. Now, when we allow ourselves to be consumed by social media, that's a problem. So it's not social media itself. So many things can be done through social media. We can reach more people through social media than we can, just visiting, physically going to these places. And so we have to be able to utilize the tools that God has made available to us. We have to be able to utilize those for what we need to utilize them for. So it's not the social media that's the problem. It's just that we find ourselves consumed with social media too many hours of the day. We'll get on there and then we'll see something and then we'll get a notification and then we'll go look it again. And next thing you know, you have been on social media for how many hours? So we find ourselves, so consumed with social media. And before we know it, we've been on there hours and hours and hours, and we haven't gotten anything done. So it's not the social media that's the problem. It's that we're allowing it to be a distraction. Instead of focusing on the task at hand, we get distracted by, like I said, the notification bells and all of that. Turn all that stuff off until you have completed what it is that you are supposed to be doing at the time, and then you can go back to social media. So that's a distraction. Let's look at another one. The success of other people. This is big. This is like really, really big, because we get an assignment that we're supposed to complete, then we'll start looking at everybody else that may be doing it. And then you'll feel like that they're doing it, better than you could do it, which you haven't even tried it yet. And then, you're distracted. You're procrastinating. You haven't taken all the necessary steps for the assignment. And then you end up just being totally distracted. Sometimes you don't even get it done. And then you end up trying to do it in the midst of some trouble for real, but you got to get it done because you should have had it done. So don't allow other people to be a distraction. I'll even go as far as to look at the fact that, people can be a distraction because maybe someone else, and this can be for young people, but this is for adults also. Someone else has their work done. They're doing what they're doing. They're on their path. You know what I'm saying? But then they always calling you, always want you to run to the store with them, want you to do this and do that with them, when you know that you are in the process of completing an assignment. But then, that's my friend. Yep, I'm going to go run to the store with her. It's okay. And then you get up and you do that, and then you never could get back to that assignment. Now, when you come back, you're too tired. Then your mind is just somewhere else. Your emotions all over the place because you've been out dealing with the public, and just all of those different things. So that can be a distraction, and we have to be mindful of that. So let's look at some other external distractions. Okay, the cell phones. Yeah, because, when we're trying to complete an assignment, we have not put it on airplane mode. We have not, turned off the notifications, turned the volume off, turn the phone off. It's okay to turn your phone off. Do anybody turn their phone off? Because I know a lot of people that never turn their phones off. But when it comes to you completing an assignment, when it comes to you focusing, when it comes to you not being distracted, then turn the notifications off. So when that text comes, you don't feel like that you have to respond to that text. Or, that text will lead you to social media. And then next thing you know, once again, you're on social media forever. Or it leads you to make a phone call. And then, hey, you're on that phone call forever. So when you get off that phone call, you are totally distracted. You are so far away from what your thought pattern was to focus on the assignment at hand. Okay, let's look at another one. The television. Now this is really not a distraction for me, because I'll start out, okay, I'm gonna watch this and this and that and the other, and then I end up sitting in my room doing something totally different than watching television. But it's things that I need to be doing and not be distracted by the television. So if the television is a distraction for you, turn it off. Listen, tape the show, whatever it is, go back and look at it on demand, whatever it is. Do not allow it to be a distraction for what you need to get done. Okay? See, this distraction thing, it's really, it's deep for real. Okay, so all of those external things that I named, giving up these things don't stop you from being distracted. So what do we need to do? We need to be disciplined. Just like that. So giving up all of those things, it doesn't stop us from being distracted. It doesn't stop us from not focusing. So we have to deal with the root of the issue. You have to really find out what is causing you to be distracted, and then make the proper sacrifices to complete the assignment at hand. When you've completed your assignment, and if your free time, you just do what you do in your free time. I'm just saying, don't leave the assignment undone, because you have to remember the assignments that you have in your life connects you to other people's lives. So there are people whose path that you have to cross, that you need to be a help to, a witness to, and you won't get there, or you will be stagnated. You'll hold someone else up because you've been distracted, and we don't want to do that, because we're working on us. We're trying to be better. And listen, we're going into another year, and one thing that we don't want to do is be the same this year. Be the same next year as we were this year. The only person that you should be competing with to be better than is your 2021 person. So yeah, I don't want to be this 2021 person in 2022, because I know that God has some greater things for me, greater works he has for me. So I want to be able to accomplish those things. And many times it's the things that you have to accomplish now that's going to help you with your assignments in the next season. So just remember that. So now let's look at some internal triggers. So internal triggers are the feelings that unpin your desire to avoid the task at hand. They are uncomfortable emotional states that we seek to escape from. So things like hunger, fatigue, illness, worry, and daydreaming. All of those are internal triggers. And those things come up when you're trying to complete an assignment. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this one, and everybody going to be able to witness to that. So you've set this time. Okay, yeah, right here at 6 o'clock, I'm going to just do my studies. I'm going to study the Word of God. And as soon as you start reading, that sleep demon come all over you. Then you're tired. And then next thing you know, you're falling asleep. You're laying down. But we're going to talk about some things that'll help, rid us of that distraction. Or you'll feel like you're hungry. Now you just ate, but you're hungry, you're still hungry. But then you didn't realize that you're still hungry until you start working on your assignment. So now you got to stop, and then you got to, go in the kitchen. You got to do this, you got to do that. And then your thoughts are totally distracted. Your thoughts are totally off. Your focus is off. And so if you do continue on to do the assignment, it just may not be the information that should be. So we have to not be distracted. We've got to deal with, this spirit of distraction. We really have to deal with that. The 3 types of distraction. Now I'm going to give you the 3 types of distractions. I'm going to give you a little example of each one. So the first one is visual distraction. Taking your eyes off the road. So I'm using the driving system. So visual distraction, taking your eyes off the road. Manual distraction, taking your hands off the wheel. Cognizant distraction, taking your mind off driving. So you see how those things, and I know as I was saying them, I know that you all could think of some things that you related to the visual, the manual, and the cognizant. But the driving example is really good. So we have to be mindful of the 3 types of distractions: the visual, the manual, and the cognizant. So let's look at these strategies that I jotted down here that will help us to overcome distraction. Let's look at them. The first one: put yourself in distraction-free mode. Put yourself in distraction-free mode. I want to say the first part of that again. Put yourself in distraction-free mode. All right. Start forming habits to help you focus. Create an environment where you are not tempted to be distracted. We talked about, the phones. You're doing something, put your phone on airplane mode. Turn the notifications off so it does not distract you, cause you to procrastinate, and then you don't get the assignment done. It says create an environment where you are not tempted to be distracted. You know the things that distract you, so be honest with yourself. You know what distracts you. You know it. You know it. So be honest with yourself. Number 2, set reasonable goals for yourself every day. When you have completed your goal, then you can enjoy those activities that you enjoy. Set reasonable goals for yourself daily. So setting reasonable goals for yourself, that means that you are setting aside the time for each task. So if you know it takes you an hour for this, set aside the time for each task to complete. And then don't go back and try to shorten the time. Don't do that. Set reasonable goals. The last one, monitor your mind wandering. Listen, daydreaming is a problem. That's a distraction. When you just sit there and you just staring off into the great blue yonder, whatever, wild blue yonder, whatever, that's a distraction. You should never allow yourself to be idle until, you're just not thinking nothing. You're just staring off into space. You have control over that. That's a distraction. So you have to control the mental wandering. What do I have here? You are thinking about one thing while doing something else. I've heard that is being on autopilot while your mind wanders. This is dangerous. Then you allow all of those illegal thoughts to be ballowed into your mind, and then you're just what? Just staring off into space. That's a distraction. And so we have to really think about these things. This is something that's going to cause us to be a winner, to win every task, to accomplish every assignment. It's going to cause us to prosper in every way possible. God has set every assignment that God has given us, he has equipped us with what we need to complete the assignment. And so we just have to complete the assignment. We have to be mindful of the distractions. And then, yeah, we have to avoid those distractions. So, be mindful of what it is that you have to do. I pray that this video has helped you with the spirit of distraction. You cannot be distracted any longer. We have things to do. We have things to accomplish. And we have goals to meet. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss another video that I put out. And if you can think of some things and some ways to not be distracted, drop down in the comments and let me know what you have. Because we are helpers one to another. I just come on to encourage you, to uplift you, and cause you to think and move in the right direction, to be a better you. Not better than somebody else, but to be a better you. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Bye-bye.